Occasionally I make videos on subjects, actually regularly I make videos on subjects to which I'm not directly linked, such as geopolitical events. Um, but occasionally I make videos on subjects that are very close to me, actually impact me personally. This is one such video. Um, so basically, the things I'm talking about in this is not something I particularly want to do, but I feel it's important to discuss my own situation in order to provide the context. It's something I've got very, I've got, I lost my trail of thought there, never mind. What I was going to say was, basically this is about Job Seekers Alliance. In the United Kingdom, other countries probably use a different name. In the United Kingdom, that's basically financial support from the state to help unemployed people have some financial stability until they find a job. It's part of the principle of a welfare state, i.e. giving people security when they fall on hard times. Um, Now in the United Kingdom, it's a very hot topic. It's like one of those subjects that really gets people thinking. Um, Certain subjects not so much, but things like this, immigration, health, crime, are all ones that really push the public button. Um, the British public is very largely misinformed about welfare. For number one, an important thing to point out is that there's many different types of welfare. So, you have child support, there's housing support, there's a wide range of different welfare categories. So what I fall under is Job Seekers Allowance. I'm not a parent, obviously, so I'm not claiming for any children, anything like that. Mine is probably one of the simpler benefit claims. I don't actually like the term benefits because that sends out a message that it's like, you sort of won a quiz or something. Oh, you get the benefits of that. I just don't like the term. I call it what it is, Job Seekers Allowance. Um, and in my opinion, the amount, it's £72 per week. That is, I have no complaints about that whatsoever. It's more than enough. So it's just right. I have no complaints about that. So for me, in my personal situation, that is not a problem. It's fine. So I have no issues with the amount of money. What I want to address in this video is a lot of the misconceptions about welfare. I should say first of all, in my own situation, I'm a English tutor part-time. I work with international students on a part-time basis, and it's basically not enough to be sustainable, and I've had to take this approach because in recent weeks I just haven't been able to get students. Even if I was teaching students, I don't think I'd be committing any sort of benefit fraud because the number of hours that I was teaching just didn't add up to that. There's a certain threshold that they look at. You get situations whereby people may be claiming disability benefits and then someone sees them playing golf the next day, something like that. It does happen. So I am in a situation where I have no choice but to claim this. I don't have to pay tax because I live at home and I'm not earning enough in order to pay tax. So that's just to clarify that. I think that this is something that I really, really don't want to do, by the way. It's something that I procrastinated over for a very long time. I would have been eligible for this a long time ago, Job Seekers Allowance, but I put it off and put it off and put it off, and basically really tried to survive on the money that I was getting from the students that I was helping. And it was enough to get by, but it was tight. It really was tight. Now with Job Seekers Allowance I'm going to get considerably more, but that's the amount. It's £72 per week. It's not the thousands that the general public think it is. And I've no complaints about the amount. For in my own situation, it's a good amount, and I'm grateful for it. Okay, I want to make that very clear. I'm grateful for it. I do not take that for granted. However, there is a lot of misconceptions about Job Seekers Allowance. Number one, the one that really gets on my nerves, well, more than that, it really pisses me off, is when you see the tabloid press talk about free money. This is not free money. If you say that something is free, that means you just get something and there is no obligations. With job seekers allowance, there is rigid obligations. I've had to attend 3 separate interviews in order to get this process going, and because I worked for 6 months in China, that makes my claim this time a little bit more complicated. I mean, the way the online questionnaire is worded is just ridiculous. It's just a badly worded questionnaire. It says things, for example, have you worked or claimed benefits outside the UK? So of course I put yes, because I've worked in China. Then it goes on to ask about forms that I have, and that puts you in an impossible position. I don't have the forms, because I'm not claiming immigration in this country. So it's a stupidly designed form, because it doesn't give you another box to explain the situation, that you're a British citizen who has worked abroad for a period of time. So it's one thing that really annoys me, is badly worded forms. So from the outset, it doesn't exactly make it easy. What I'd like to say is, I have no problem filling in forms. I fully understand that if I'm asking to claim money from the state, then I don't mind filling in forms. I understand that. I understand they need the information. I'm going to show you some of the forms that I have to work with. Now, I have to meet an advisor. Well, first of all, this form, it's about maybe, I guess, 10 pages. That's for my own personal case, because I've done part-time work in the past. It's not massively difficult, but I have to send that off as soon as possible in order for that claim to be processed. In other words, to see if I'm eligible for claiming that, because I've done part-time work in the past. That's, I believe, Her Majesty's custom, and I'm not entirely sure, but that's separate actually from the process for claiming job seekers allowance. So at this stage, it all depends on this form, which is a little soul destroying, because basically it's in their hands. Now, I guess that is true of any sort of situation in life. If you're applying for a job, or I guess parents, adults who are applying for adoption cases, that sort of thing. So this applies to many things in life. I'm provided with this booklet, my work plan. This means I have to go to the job centre, I believe it's once a fortnight. Now, you may not think that's very much. You may think, oh, what's so hard about that? And that's true. It's not particularly hard. It's a 10-minute meeting. You go in, they check the book, and that's it. But there's other things around that I don't think people are aware of. You have to fill in this booklet every week. It shows, basically, if you can't see the writing, it says, I will. You have to this, what you're going to do, what I did, and what was the result. So this is pretty comprehensive. It's a thick book, relatively thick book, and it's basically you have to detail what you're doing to try and find work. In other words, that is part of showing your obligation to show that you're making serious efforts and you're not just getting this money from the government for free. Now, people might turn around and say, oh, well, that's fine, you can lie on it, you could just make anything up. No, actually, you can't. Because a lot of the details you give the job centre, they keep on file, they keep on record. So if you do lie to them, then they'll find out, and then you'll lose the job seeker's allowance. So you may think, oh, it's just filling in a little form. It's not that, actually. You have to back that up by actually doing what you say on the form. So if I say I've contacted so-and-so to apply for work, I have to do that, because if I lie about that, they'll follow it up. And I've no fundamental problem with that. Of course I have obligations. And this is another thing. It's an idea that the tabloid press and the Tories constantly promote, is reliance on the state. It's true that a lot of people do rely on welfare, but the idea that they love doing it is just, it's a slur. I know there's people out there who do take it for granted and who do just take it as a way of life, and that's wrong. Those people are selfish, and they're basically taking the state for granted. But what I resent is the idea that people who are on JSA, everyone, it's like a collective vilification. Now, the way a lot of this is worded is, it's patronising, and it's definitely like, I will do this, I will do that, You have to agree. You've no choice. You have to agree with this. It's very patronizing sort of language. I can tell they're trying to word it in a way that sounds like you're a customer, but really a lot of it is one-sided. It's like, you will do this, and that's that. Now, I don't fundamentally have any problem with this. I appreciate they need information in order to help me, but I just wish that I mean, for example, my statement, that's not my statement, that's what they want me to agree to. It's not my own words. Now, I guess you could say, well, that's the same in job applications, but definitely not so. This is what it says, actually. I'll just read it out. I have read and understood my claimant commitment. I will do everything I reasonably can to get work. Getting work is my responsibility, and taking the actions in my claimant commitment will help me find work sooner. Now, that's patronising. I understand Job Centre Plus will give me help and advice to do the things set out in my claimant commitment. I understand I must attend the Job Centre when required to do so. I understand my coach may require me to take other specific actions to improve my chances of finding work. Now, some of that I have no problem with. Turning up when they ask me to, that's fair enough, because if I'm unemployed, then it's my priority in life. Okay, I understand where they're coming from. I don't like the idea of this coach. Now, I won't prejudice this person. I haven't met them yet. Maybe it will be very reasonable, but I'm really not looking forward to that interview. The way it's worded, you have to attend this, etc., etc. It sounds like an interrogation, frankly. And this is how I felt the last time I signed on, and it's why I quit. At that time, I was really not in a position to quit. I needed the support, but I quit because in the end it was so soul destroying that I couldn't take it anymore. It was doing my head in. And that's why for 5 years I procrastinated about. It's not that I didn't sign off because I got a stable work. I signed off because I got fed up of feeling like a criminal. Now, I want to make this very clear. I'm not attacking people who work in the job centre. Most of them are decent, normal people who are just doing their job. In fact, I have a friend who works in this area, and he's a decent guy. He doesn't, obviously he's not my own advisor. I don't know what he's like in his job, whatever. But he's a decent guy. So I've no fundamental problem with most of the people that work there. However, there is a step whereby if you're unemployed for a certain period of time, I don't know what the threshold is, I think it's a few months, they will force you to go on to a workfare program. I'm not sure, I know it still exists, I'm not sure exactly how that is set up compared to 2009, but I suspect it will be even worse in 2009 because this is a Tory government, and the Tories definitely have a callous attitude to the unemployed. Basically what we have is a government who is trying to get votes by making it look like, oh look, we're being tough on the unemployed. Now a lot of the language is trying to help, etc., etc. And yeah, sure, part of it is that, but a lot of it is definitely like talking down to people and treating people like you definitely would not have this sort of situation in any other sort of public service. If you go into a dental practice or a doctor's and you were spoken down to, you would automatically make a complaint. Now, to be fair, the job centre does have a section you can go to make a complaint. So far, I don't have that situation. I've nothing to complain about. But if you're thinking that my attitude is very defensive and sensitive, just try going through this. Most of it at this stage I don't have a major problem with. I mean, the forms are a nuisance. I hate forms, but you know what, I accept the fact I have to do that. I'm not complaining about it. I'll do it. I'll do everything they ask me to do. But workfare, forced unpaid labour, not a chance in hell. The second they tell me to do that, I'm quitting, and I'll make it clear why I'm quitting, because I think that's immoral and counterproductive. I'm unemployed. I'm not a criminal. So I just wish the general public would realise that actually there is obligations. I mean, you may be thinking it's just a little form. It's not just a little form. You have to follow up on what you're saying. You have to make those phone calls. You have to fill in job applications. Otherwise, they'll find out. So the idea you're getting free money, it's just not true. And the Murdoch press, the vicious, poisonous Murdoch press, which I despise, is guilty of definitely distorting the situation. And then you get parasites like Jeremy Kyle, who distort it even further. What guys like him do is they bring out, this isn't about the Jeremy Kyle show, I've made videos about that, but I'm just using this as an example. He will bring out someone who really doesn't care, who does fraud the system, who does take the system for granted, and what Kyle will do is say, oh, all the unemployed are like this. And for that reason, I hate Jeremy Kyle. I hate the man. Because he's actually stirring up hatred against millions of people. He's a demagogue. That's what he is. And Kyle knows not every unemployed person is like that, but he's too cynical and too basically that's a man who just wants to lie in his own pockets through his sick show. And I have nothing but utter contempt for Kyle. What he should be saying is, this is someone who abuses the system, but many unemployed are decent, law-abiding citizens. Kyle doesn't do that. He says, oh, I think we're all sick of these type of people. That sort of language is dangerous, because what he is doing, that's no better than saying all Muslims are terrorists. So I hate Jeremy Kyle. I hate what he does. I hate the tabloid press, and I'm just having a rant now. But this video is just to try and emphasize that it is not free money.